We're going to talk about the area of circles. The formula for the area of circles is A equals pi r squared. So every time we have a problem where we need to find the area of a circle, we are going to use that formula. So if we're given the radius of 4 meters, then what we need to do is we need to plug in that 4 meters into the formula. So we're going to start off by writing the formula, pi r squared, but then we're going to rewrite the formula, but instead of using pi r squared, we're going to actually put in the number 3.14 times the radius, which is 4, squared. Note that I put in the multiplication sign here so that you remember that no sign means multiplication. We're going to follow PEMDAS. And in PEMDAS, we do parentheses first. There's no parentheses, so then we're going to use exponents. We do have an exponent. It's 4 to the second power. 4 to the second power is the same as 4 times 4. 3.14, 4 times 4 is 16. So what we're going to do is now we have 3.14 and 16. And now I'm going to multiply those two numbers together. Making sure that I show my work. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 1 plus 2 is 8. 6 times 3 is 18. I'm done with the 6. So now I'm left with 314. Now I'm going to add up the numbers. 4 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 4 is 12. Carry the 1, 8, 9, 10. Remember the decimals. There's two numbers that come after the decimal on top, so I'm going to put two numbers after the decimal on the bottom. And my area is 50 and 24 hundredths of a meter squared. And it's very important to put meter squared because area is a two-dimensional measurement. That's how you find the area of a circle if you are given the radius. Let's go ahead and erase all of this. But what happens when we're given the diameter? When you're given the diameter, remember that on a circle, the diameter goes all the way through, and the radius goes only from the center to the edge of the circle, which means that the radius is half of the diameter. So if the diameter is 8 inches, the radius would be 4 inches. So let's solve our area of a circle problem again, but instead of plugging in 3.14 for pi, we're going to use the fraction. We're going to use 22 over 7 for pi. Area equals 22 over 7 times 4 squared. We remember from last time that 4 squared is 16. And now we have 16 times 22 over 7. That's going to make things a little bit interesting, because now you're multiplying a fraction times a whole number. So what you need to do is you need to make sure to rewrite 16 as a fraction, which means you put it over the number 1. Now we have 22 times 16. We're going to multiply across. Show our work off to the side. Actually, it would be easier if we put 16 on top, because we have a double number. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 1 plus 1 is 3. We're done with this 2. Now I have, oh look, another 2, so I can just repeat the number but move it one slot over. That will get me 352. So now I have 352 on top. 7 times 1, I have 7 on the bottom. That's an improper fraction. That's not going to work. So what I need to do is I need to make the L and divide. Remember the L with the fraction, which tells me that 352 goes inside the fraction, goes inside the division problem. 7 goes on the outside. 7 goes into 35 5 times. 7 times 5 is 35. Break now the 2. We have a 2. 7 does not go into 2. So now we have a choice to either use a fraction or a decimal answer. I'm going to choose to use a fraction answer because we used a fraction for pi, and it will help us to stay consistent. So you take this 2 all the way from the bottom, move it all the way to the top, and you have 50 in 2/7. If you would have used, let's go ahead and reset this for a minute. You can see that I'm really not doing anything different at this point. If I would have used a decimal, then I would have put decimal, decimal, put the invisible 0, drag it down. 7 goes into 22 times, which is 14. Now I have 6 left over. You can see I did not plan this out very well because I'm running out of room, so we're going to move it up here. 7 goes into 60 8 times, and it will keep going on, but what you really need to remember is that excuse me, what you really need to remember is that you can round this number up. So as we keep going with our division problem, I'm just going to keep continuing. This number, the 5 tells the 8 to go up, so we end up with 50.29 meters squared, or 50 2/7 meters squared for our area. Now, if you remember from the first problem, when we used 3.14 for pi, our area was 50.24 meters squared. And the radius was 4, excuse me. When we used 22/7, our area was 50.29 meters squared. You will get slightly different answers if you use the decimal or the fraction version of pi. They will be close, but they will not be exactly the same. That's because 22/7 is an approximate version of pi, just like 3.14 is an approximate version of pi. Pi never ever ends, so mathematicians pick close enough numbers to make it easy to work with, and that will still get you very close to the correct answer.